having a snail collection. It's fucked up. I thought you were gonna... I have a tattoo of a snail that I owned. Wrong shoulder. There it is. His name was Mel. I loved him. Fuck you, Brian. Alright, let's keep this mic moving. Coming up next, I think you can get away with talking about hookers tonight, Johnny. Give it up for Jonathan Jobert.
Nice. That's clever.
Well, hello there, Colorado. Lulu's downstairs. My name's Jonathan. I'm not from here. I'm from Louisiana, which is the state of illiteracy and swamp crotch. I found out only 38% of people in Louisiana could read at an 8th grade level, which is kind of infuriating. And I was going to write a letter to the governor, but then I realized, like, he probably couldn't read it. And then nobody taught me to write a letter. You know, we are also pretty poor there. It's like 50th in economic mobility, which is the fancy way of saying we don't know what that really means, but we don't have money. But we couldn't afford cool things like slip and slides. You ever had a slip and slide? Yeah? Yeah, we had trash bags and like baby oil and my mom's staple gun. Which sounds super smart at first, until you realize like every 5 feet it's just like, and then you're just getting your back scratched up with staples, and then you're covered with baby oil, and you have to look your mom in the face, and you're not going to tell her you stole her stapler gun, so you do what every 9-year-old boy does, and you say the neighbor molested you. This is going to be different because I started drinking tonight, but I'm a Gen Xer, and as a Gen Xer, you know, people kind of overlook all the accomplishments we had. Like, there's a lot of new outrage that didn't exist when I was little. You know, like people were real upset about the whole trans movement thing. Are anybody familiar with that at all? Yeah. Never fucking bothered me. Yeah, I grew up listening to glam. Like, you know how many dudes I fucking jerked off to for years before I found out they were chicks? Hanson? I thought that was a chick band. I ruined like 12 pairs of socks before I found out that it was Mbop, not Cock. Also, we had Janet Jackson before y'all got the fat Janet Jackson, which is Lizzo. And the thing that bothers me about fat Janet Jackson is not that she's obese. That's fine. What bothers me is that's what we're focusing on, not that she's a skilled singer. Right? I mean, that's a little bit frustrating. You know? And I'm not a fan of the body positivity movement because I've seen those bodies and I'm pretty positive they're not moving at all. I have a lot of bad ideas. They started right after 9/11. Like, you know, here, I'll just say it. My friend Colby's in a wheelchair, and this is when words started to change, and he was like, well, Jonathan, I don't appreciate you saying that I'm handicapped anymore. The term is handy-capable. And so I just left him at the bottom of the stairs and was like, well, you're capable of doing shit. There you go. You got this. Which he did make it up the stairs, by the way, so I guess he wasn't that capable. Also, pro-marriage. Anybody here pro-marriage? Probably not for the same reasons some of you are pro-marriage. I'm pro-marriage because I need someone to clean my browser history when I die. And you might not be thinking about that clearly at this point in your life, but one day you're going to go home and you're going to look up midget-on-midget porn because some asshole in Lulu's told you they don't make midget-on-midget porn because people don't like to play. So they only have midget-on-half-person porn. Plus their dicks look bigger in their little sausage hands. And that's attractive. And if you don't get that joke, like a midget, it probably went over your head. Probably went over your head. I know, it's fucked up. I'm fine with it. Oh, God. Let's see. I know some of you guys are looking at me saying, like, oh, this guy obviously tells school shooter jokes. And I don't tell school shooter jokes because I just think that this isn't the right target audience. You know, I think that they would miss the mark. Yeah, I see you like that. You guys are disgusting. You're just holding it back, trying to be cool. And I get it. It's all right. I wanted to be cool once, and then I just got old. You see, oh, here's something that I found interesting, right? Like, I believe that human beings progress when we share culture, right? But there's this whole new phenomenon about cultural appropriation. And there was an outrage back in my hometown because these little kids were putting on a Mulan play. And of course there was outrage because there weren't any Asian kids in the play. Well, first of all, it's a school play, and it's in southern Louisiana. So, like, the Asian guy is 42 years old, and so he's not going to be in it. And plus, pretending that it's equal to them putting Mulan on the thing and taping their eyes back just pisses me off. They're not. They're just little kids that want to sing some Disney songs. That's all they want to do, and I think we should let them. I think people should sing all kinds of songs, except for Lizzo. Except for Lizzo. She needs to do push-ups. That would be my time.
Oh, God.
Alright, that was Jonathan Joubert. God damn that fucking last name.
From Louisiana.
Yeah. Are you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for your input. I appreciate you. All
All
right.
Hey, what's up?
We're going to keep this moving. Coming up next to the mic, he's super funny. You guys are going to love him. Give it up for Johnny Bratsveen.
What's going on, Luz? Anybody here keep tabs on their ex? No, not like a creepy way, but like you need to make sure you made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? No? I keep tabs on mine because I need to know that I did the right thing. And it was confirmed this last Halloween because my last ex-girlfriend, she got a little big, and I'm not saying like that was the confirmation. I don't mind a big woman at all. But she went with her new man to this Halloween party, and he was dressed as Chris Farley, and she was dressed as Guy Fieri. I'm like, thank God I dodged that bullet. Because if you go to a Halloween party with a woman dressed as Guy Fieri, every dude at that party is talking to every other dude like, hey, who you think's fucking Guy Fieri tonight? Because there's no way you can get dressed up like that and not get fucked, right? Like, gotta get something out of it, right? If you're the dude going with. Happy Black History Month. I think in honor of Black History Month, all white people should consider white slavery. Just consider it, think about it, because if you did it, think of the one awesome thing that would come out of it.
Tips.
White roots. White roots would be dope as fuck. Come on, man. Your name is Snowflake! Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Happy Black History Month. I recently found out that I'm an asshole to my wife. I didn't realize it. It's just something, because she got in an argument with me because she doesn't like have the difference in how we wake each other up. Like if I'm drunk and I fall asleep on the couch, she'll come over and she'll be like, hey babe, hey, why don't we go to bed? Right. And if she's asleep on the couch, I'm like, Kelsey, take your ass to bed, man. Look at your fucking face, all them damn lines. What the fuck are you doing? Go to bed. Fuck me. Fuck you, go to bed. Stupid. I want to talk about interracial relationships because I'm a master at them. I've studied them. I'm a product of one. I'm in one. And I gotta ask you guys, who do you think learns more from an interracial relationship? A white woman dating a black man, or a white man dating a black woman?
White man dating a black woman.
And why is that? Because a white woman comes out of that relationship with a lot of attitude and confidence she doesn't really deserve, right? Fuck you, my kids are mixed, nigga. Chill out, Samantha. And a white dude comes out of that relationship with a lot of understanding and patience. And I know this because my dad was white. And I asked him, I was like, so what did you learn dating a black woman? And he's like, well, you gotta learn to be yourself, because white men have a lot of trials and tribulations when they date a black woman. Like, you have to meet her family, and you're the white man. infiltrating the black family, right? And my mom's from East St. Louis, so my dad caught all this shit, right? He show up first, like, oh shit, Snowflake's here! My dad's like, I'm 32, no thank you. But here's the thing, you can't waver, you gotta stand your ground, right? So now my dad, he's the coolest motherfucker whenever we go to St. Louis. He'll be playing fucking dominoes and shit, and he's whooping everybody's ass, and every time he fucking gets a point, he's like, that's right, Snowflake in the motherfucking building! Like, yeah, own that shit. But I asked him, like, what's the turning point? What makes you get that sort of understanding of black culture and stuff like that? He goes, if I'm being completely honest, it's the bonnet. Now, I see a lot of white people in here, so let me break down what a bonnet is. For a black man, it's the shit that they put on when they go to bed to protect their, this shit that pulls a hair out, you know what I'm talking, the bonnet. If you've ever had a black woman yell at you in a bonnet, it is the most scary thing you've ever seen on the planet. You will remember every word she yells at you. Cause she's like, look, motherfucker, I don't know who you talking to. And it just keeps going further and further back. You're like, holy shit, when is her hair gonna start? But I asked my dad, well, when did the bonnet come out? He said, first night, she needed to set an example. He said, I got done having sex, and then she put that shit on. I was like, yeah, what you thought was gonna happen, did you? That's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for putting up with me. I'm Johnny Bradley.
Keep it going for Johnny Bradsveen, everybody. All right, coming up next to the mic, she is a Lulu's favorite. Everybody give it up for Abigail Lauren.
Hello, good evening. Hey, round of applause for Ben. Yeah. I feel like I'm always an asshole to Ben, so I wrote it on a list that I should be a better person, and I should have everybody give him a round of applause so I didn't have to be nice to him anymore. I hope you guys all had a good, mostly just like old white guys in leadership day yesterday. Yeah, that's a good one. I just let that simmer a little bit. Yeah, I celebrated by just working for a little bit less.
Day.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, that was a President's Day joke. That's good. Good job, good job. You guys are following along. This is going to be a good show. For those of you who have been here a couple different nights for comedy, you know that I've made a bunch of jokes about online dating, which is one of my favorites, because it's really easy to make jokes about online dating, which is good, because then it's really good to get attention making jokes about online dating, which is the only reason that I'm here, is for attention. What's that?
I said, me too.
Yeah, you too. Here for attention.
Yeah, well, we're not a partner, but I use the online to get it done.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad you guys made it out. It's so good. It's so good to have you guys here. Feel free to laugh at all of my jokes. Since maybe you haven't been here before, if you don't, you do get kicked out. I've got some bouncers here, so just keep that in mind as the show goes on.
Who's kicking us out?
I can't tell you that.
Come on.
It'll just happen. Just live in fear a little bit. It's good to fear a white woman just every once in a
Are
while.
they bigger than me?
I can't disclose that either. Yeah, so I love talking about online dating. I am actually dating like an actual human right now. Yeah, it's surprising. I'm surprised.
You've given up on animals, or
I did. Yeah, my dog was like, it's been enough.
how about your donkey?
My dog. No, we're not gonna go down that line. You're getting close to being kicked. Not quite. Maybe you should just come up and do the open mic.
Oh, go ahead.
People would be way more into it that way. Behind a mic, people tend to laugh at that a lot more. But being a millennial, being in a relationship, always makes me think, really fondly about the freedom that I used to have. Of course, I'm kidding. I really hated it. Online dating is the fucking worst. It's really terrible. Has anybody else used Tinder, Bumble, any of those things? Yeah.
Bumblebees.
We fucking hate it. Just like any non-sociopath, it's a terrible experience no matter what you do. Just like, it's like anything on the internet, like everything is available at your fingertips. But when eventually that jumpsuit that you bought on Instagram comes in the mail from what you realize was actually a factory in China and isn't denim, it's actually just rayon with a denim pattern printed on top, and it's like 3 sizes too small. That's what online dating is like. Everything's there and you don't want any of it.
From Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon is a good example. I did have a joke that I wrote down that was like, this jumpsuit is for ants, that I wrote down there that I really wanted to say, even though it didn't really lead in. But for example of online dating sites that I really hate, Tinder is definitely one of them. I gave up on it in Colorado Springs a long time ago. I'm kidding, like 2 months ago. But it's really weird. I work in the service industry, and so when you're going through and you know the coffee order of 4 out of every 5 guys that you're swiping on, it just starts to feel a little bit awkward. Like, I know you get an iced vanilla almond milk latte. I'm kidding. Get whatever you want. You're fine. But I really decided that I'd rather like have a dead patch, right? Like I would rather be celibate than deal with the bullshit of online dating. I'm actually pretty sure that's why I started doing stand-up, because I'm just trying to look for some other activities that I could do with my magic wand, like out and about. I'm just kidding. Staying home. But I did actually have one good Tinder experience. It wasn't in Colorado Springs. Shocker. It was in Chicago. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, Chicago.
Windy City.
Yeah, windy. Windy is, yeah, it's one way to describe it. It's a wonderful place. I actually really do love Chicago. Definitely not because this is an amazing experience. But turns out if you put on Tinder just like your first initial and then a description that's like, I'm from Colorado and I'm leaving in 3 days, you're everybody's type. Everyone. So many responses. No idea why. So I was whittling it down. Anybody with like a bouldering picture or a hiking picture, I just immediately like weeded out. I was like, I've got plenty of that at home. I'm in the city, you know, when in Rome. I'll go for like clearly 3 pictures in the same dive bar and like at least 1 picture with a cat. May or may not be his, but he's got a picture with a cat. But yeah, no, so I chose this one very lucky guy. Super lucky. I know you guys were already thinking that as the story was going along, because look at me. He actually, on his profile, he had manic pixie cum god. So, good match. Very good match. Lucky him. But so we started a dive bar and we're having a good time. We're getting to know each other. Such a good time that we decided to move on to a taco place. If you get, just to like set the mood. I didn't hear a lot of laughter there. So a taco place, both of us, me and my Tinder date, we went to a taco place. You guys suck. Tacos, vaginas, come on. But so we're having a great time, and then we drunkenly stumble out to the Uber that he has ordered for us because he is a gentleman.
Are we that drunk already?
And if there is anything that I know about gentlemen, it's that they really love nothing more than that drunken stumble. I like that one. It's okay. We get back to his place, and I realize that alcohol has done its job in numbing the pain of my existence, but also, you know, the pain that comes with being born a woman. I'm, of course, not talking about the wage gap. I just realized that I was on my period as soon as I walked into his place, which was really cool. It was really good timing. And it can be like a little bit intimidating trying to tell somebody that you only just met that you're on your period, but also that you would still like to bone, please. But so I thought of a couple options of like different ways that you can break it to your partner that you don't remember their first name. So one of them, you can just like pass the blame. This is one of my favorites. You just be like, "Oh, you made me ink." That's a good one. There's another one, if you like to live a little bit more on the dangerous side, like, "Hey, you wanna play Russian roulette? I'm not packing, but it's gonna get bloody." For those who like to watch TV and also like fantasy stuff and like lots of sex and television shows, you could be like, "Hey, do you like Game of Thrones? Because if this is love at first sight, I mean, we could go directly into the red wedding." Or you could just keep it like really simple, just like, "Hey, it's gonna get messy, period." Or you could just go with like my tried and true that I used that night, which was something more along the lines of like, "I'm on my period. Is that okay?" And it was great. We had a great time together. We were talking a lot. We talked about what we liked, what we're interested in, you know, like what our boundaries are. So like he's from Chicago, so he loves hot dogs. Penis. But here's the thing that I love about America is that you put ketchup on something and they'll eat anything. I'm gonna let that simmer just for like a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. I'm not surprised by that. I mean, honestly, like, it does take people by surprise with the girth of my balls by the fact that I do just have a vagina underneath there. But he had a great time, and actually it's really not funny, it's not a joke, he's iron deficient, so I was really just trying to help him out that evening. Like I said before, very lucky guy.
Is he a Cubs or a White Sox fan?
I love sports so much.
Clearly Red Sox.
Obviously Red Sox. Obviously Red Sox.
White Sox.
Right.
No. I can't compete. I can't compete. Oh no. Red Sox.
You have blood on
Blood.
us?
Yes, lots of blood. Period blood.
Alright.
Menstruation. One thing. Oh, also, just as a side note, as we're talking about periods and sex and like eating women out when they're bleeding because it's a beautiful thing, there is a reason why pubescent girls love vampires. I'm just saying, Twilight was a thing, and we shouldn't ignore it. Okay, it's not weird. Embrace it. One thing about being in a relationship that I've noticed is that you just kind of realize how horny and single you were before you were in a relationship. For instance, earlier today I tried to show my boyfriend a comic that I had written like a while back, and I was going back through a text conversation with somebody who I may or may not have sexted multiple times last year to like find this comic. And I forgot how many topless pictures there were, and also dick pics like leading up into that point. Which like I'm not so upset that he saw these pictures that I'd sent to somebody else. I was more just, look, it's really hard to take a good topless selfie. Like the lighting is really difficult, especially coming from a mom who breastfed for like almost a year. You gotta know your angles with like the stretch marks and stuff, so it takes a long time to get one good photo, and now I can't reuse it. He's already seen it. So, now I'm gonna spend my time doing that instead of writing comedy. Yeah, I'm sure that you would love that. I am not, again, not surprised. Not surprised. But that's all for tonight. So thank you all very much.
All right. right, that was Abigail, everybody. Keep it going for her. All right, I think Brian forgot a joke. He wanted to come up and do another joke.
Everyone's gonna do one last joke.
All right, I guess everybody's gonna do one last joke. So coming up first, give it up for Brian Sullivan.
Hello again. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Thanks. You know, it's been long. Abigail, you're funny, man. I like how you're with the dude, but you're talking about how many dudes you've had like interactions with. That's dope. That's confidence right there. Fucks with Abigail, man. Shit, man. My last joke I forgot to tell you guys was like, how many of you guys still watch the news on TV? You know? No one watch? Figures. Alright, cool. I think I saw you on the news once, bro. Crime Stoppers. I'm supposed to call an 800 number if I seen you though. I fucking love it. No, I hate watching the news though, man. The news is a scary fucking place. It's crazy. Like every time you turn on the news, they always throwing around fucking jargon that you don't understand. I like watching the news because it teaches you a lot about the news, you know? It teaches me a lot about the news. Like, I'm too fucking dumb to watch the news, you know what I mean? Like, they're always throwing around crazy jargon. Like, I remember Andrew Yang, before he dropped out, he was talking about, like, wanting to have a bipartisan agreement. I was like, hey, man, it's 2020. Nobody cares who you love, dog. You know what I mean? Nobody gives a fuck, you know? And they're always throwing around crazy jargon that try to scare you, like bleeding heart, political suicide, muckraker. What's a fucking muckraker? I don't know what a muckraker is, so I'm just gonna assume you talking shit about black people. You know what I mean? I don't fucking understand it, man. I learned a lot of things from watching the news, though. Like, did you guys know that 13% of black people have been disenfranchised? Yeah. Fucking Asians. Fuck that shit, bro. I'm just saying, like, the reason why is because all those fucking beauty supply stores and Chick-fil-A is owned by white people. You know, like, I don't get it. You know, it's dumb. That's a dumb joke. Anyway. Nah, man, the news is a fucking scary place, though, man. Like, every time you turn on the news, there's always a story about somebody dying. Always a story about somebody getting shot. Like, that Kobe Bryant shit fucked me up. But there's a story underneath that Kobe Bryant, like, story. It was a story about those 8 people getting stabbed at one place here in Colorado Springs. Y'all remember that shit? Like, as soon as I seen that headline, I got, like, remorseful for the first 2 people that got stabbed, you know? Because I like, if I pull out a knife right now and I hit my man in the beret and then get a 2-for-1 with motherfucking Death to Smoochie right here, like, it's understandable. But 3, 4, 5, and 6, play some defense. Jesus Christ. Lateral movement, active hands. Anyway. That's my time. I'm Brian Sullivan. Give it up for Ben Burbank.
All right, that was Brian again. All right, which one's next? Johnny Bratsveen, everybody.
Round 2. I used to have a job. Now I'm unemployed, so if anybody's hiring, I totally can't pass a piss test right now. Just keep that in mind. But I used to work with a bunch of manly men. You know what I'm talking about? Like the fucking the dudes. You know? And they used to give me shit because I play a lot of video games on the weekend. And they shoot guns. They'd be like, dude, you just play video games and shoot guns? I shoot guns. Shooting guns is one of the best. Name something better, Johnny, than shooting a gun. Name something that feels better than shooting a gun. Ice cream? I'm an asshole, but I know what kind of man I am, right? And that's how I'm so comfortable, you know? I know what kind of man I am. Like, sir, if me and you got in a fist fight, right? And I won the fist fight and knocked you out, I'm not the dude that's gonna, like, hit you 4 more times when you're down, right? I'm not that sort of dude. Same fight, you beat me, officer, I've just been assaulted. There's multiple ways to win this fight, is all I'm trying to say. That's all I got.
Johnny Bratsveen, and coming up next, Jonathan Jobert.
Okay, so just quick thoughts. I don't think people who preach abstinence should vote because they're voting on who gets to fuck them and they're supposed to be celibate. And then, let's see, another thing is the worst part about masturbation is getting caught outside a funeral home. Which sounds perverted until you realize they're dead and they got no skin in the game. So, there you go. That's it, thanks. Never seen so many people clap from masturbating in public.
All right, Chris Ross, everybody.
So Johnny fucking gave me a fucking trigger. So I was married to a black woman for fucking 5 years, and she had a saying. She'd always yell at me. She'd be like, "Chris, once you go black, you're never gonna go back." I've never been back to with that bitch ever fucking again. But I used to tell her saying, because I'm Jewish, I used to be like, "Well, once you go Jew, you don't know what the fuck to do." Because she is fucking confused. She is still looking for her personal Jesus. My name's Chris. You guys have a good night.
All right, Abigail Lauren, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, this one is an all new one. So be gentle. One of my pals is especially excited that I'm in a relationship now. Partially because he also knows the same guy, but really mostly just because he's been subjected to listening to the ups and downs of all of my like casual dating experiences. One day I was telling him about one of my experiences, and I think I might have been bragging about the fact that I like don't have a type. Like I've been interested in like all sorts of people, like tall, short, skinny, big, blonde, brunette, white. I'm not proud of it. And he stops me and he says, "Oh no, Abigail, you have a type. Musicians." Which immediately, like to be fair, is like kind of accurate. Like when I was younger, I was definitely like always searching out like drummers and guitarists. And in fact, in high school, when my parents figured out that I was like drinking and smoking and having sex, my punishment is that I had to go to Bible study. And in this particular Bible study, they made us write a list of what we were looking for in a husband. And I did write drummer. And sure, like if you look into my past, like I did date only musicians when I was like high school and middle school, and I did marry a drummer. Yeah, don't worry, I learned from that experience. So then I also divorced a drummer. And like I guess technically like the guy before was a musician, but I wasn't like searching it out or anything, but it definitely made me more aware. So I started to pay attention to my surroundings a little bit more, even though I was very drunk meeting these new people. And I would end up at a place, I'm just looking for like normal stuff, like you can make a joke about, I don't know, the Lonely Island, or talk about SNL a little bit with me. But we'd end up back at the place having talked about no music, and in the corner, a guitar. Yeah, it's a problem. I have like a really good sniffer for this. I'm actually not sure if my current relationship is gonna work out. Pretty early on, he let on that he plays the bass. I don't have very many like tests that are like black and white, but I feel like at this point I probably need to just be dating an accountant. And that's it, thank you.
All right, that was Abigail, everybody. Keep it going for her. You guys, this Friday we have a very special Friday night mic. I'm super excited about it. It'll be a late start. We're going to be starting at 9. So come out, get some time, and laugh with us. Thanks again to Lulu's for letting us do this. Drive safe. Have a good night, everybody.
Everybody did the last joke except Ben. I feel cheated.
That was Ben's last bit.
Ben's home phone.
Here we are on No Man's Land TV, 80904. Come on down to Lulu's every Tuesday, every Wednesday. Don't forget to do it Friday and Saturday too.